On a blistering day in August, novelist Philipp Meyer was at a cattle ranch in the grassy hill country of central Texas, standing in a field that had been turned into a replica of a Comanche camp. The makeshift village, with about 20 teepees, wooden racks holding strips of drying meat, and buffalo hides spread on the ground, served as the backdrop for a grueling scene from the AMC adaptation of Meyer's 2013 novel, The Sun, an epic western about a Texas ranching family. The series stars Pierce Brosnan as Eli McCullough, the family's steely patriarch who was captured by Comanches as a teenager in 1849 and later becomes a cattle rancher with a violent, vengeful streak. Meyer watched as makeup artists applied fake blood and ash to the prosthetic limbs of a white buffalo hunter who had been captured and tortured by the Comanches. "This is great," Meyer said. He studied the scene more closely and then suggested making the charred ground around the actors' limbs bigger. After all, he noted, the fires would have been burning for hours. For novelists to wield such influence over screen adaptations if their work is rare, they might receive an executive producer credit and an occasional ceremonial visit to the set, but more typically just cash their checks and move on to their next novels. Meyer, though, is atypical. He's handy with pistols, rifles and hunting bows, and he looks at home on a working cattle ranch. He wrote 3 of the episodes in the first season, and he rewrote the rest. He was also a near-constant presence on the set throughout the 5 months of filming, weighing in on casting, props, costumes and the choreography of battle scenes. He was heavily involved in everything, said Brosnan, who spoke admiringly of Meyer's swagger. "He's a gung-ho weapons nut with his own arsenal, and he was very specific in the choice of weapons I would use." Meyer acknowledged that his obsession with historical details was probably annoying to the other writers and producers, but his scrupulous oversight of even minute aspects of the production was always part of the bargain. "He's definitely put his fingerprints on the show," said Joel Stillerman, president of original programming and development for AMC and Sundance TV. It was clear that he was not comfortable just walking away, and he felt like he had something to contribute. The Sun represents the first big project from El Jefe, a production company that Meyer founded with writers Brian McGreevy and Lee Shipman. The 3 men, who met through the University of Texas Master of Fine Arts program, created the company in 2014 with the aim of giving authors, who are often sidelined in Hollywood's creative hierarchy, greater control over the adaptations of their work. The company is developing TV shows based on Meyer's debut novel, American Rust, Will S. Hilton's World War II book, Vanished, and 4th of July Creek, a novel by Smith Henderson. Meyer also plans to write and serve as executive producer of the American Rust adaptation. Novelists, who are the most qualified people when it comes to the world of the books they've written, are the first people to be benched in this process, said McGreevy, who was a writer and executive producer on the Netflix adaptation of his horror novel, Hemlock Grove. Television has become an increasingly attractive medium for novelists, including Richard Price, Tom Perrotta and Nick Pizzolatto, who see it as an ideal form for teasing out long story arcs and subtle character development. But few have as much of a creative stake as Meyer does in The Sun, and he's feeling the pressure. Whether The Sun succeeds, critically and commercially, could determine whether El Jefe becomes a big player in the heated competition for literary properties, which have become a staple of prestige television. "There's this sinking feeling of, oh, this is years of my life," he said, using an expletive. "It almost feels like writing a first novel." Meyer had been in development purgatory before, and he was determined not to go through it again. American Rust, which was published in 2009, was optioned for a feature film, but the production never went anywhere. So when The Sun, which sold 300,000 copies and was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize, caught the interest of several production companies, Meyer agreed to McGreevy's pitch. "I said, you can go with these heavy hitters who will back up dump trucks of money to your house but will likely marginalize you in the process, if the thing gets made at all," McGreevy said, "or you can take the risk of us doing this together." Meyer chose the riskier option. In spring 2013, Meyer, McGreevy and Shipman wrote a 126-page script for The Sun and shopped it to TV networks. Microsoft Xbox Entertainment Studios made an offer on the series but it didn't follow through, and the fledgling studio later shut down. Even after AMC picked up The Sun as a series in early 2016, with a role for Meyer as a series writer and executive producer, other hiccups ensued. In the summer, actor Sam Neill, who was playing Eli, dropped out for personal reasons soon before shooting was scheduled to begin. Brosnan, who took his place, had to prepare for the role on the fly. He read passages of the novel aloud to capture Eli's cadences and listened to speeches by famous Texans, including Lyndon B. Johnson, Rick Perry and U.S. Rep. Ted Poe. In the first few episodes, Brosnan's labored accent isn't quite convincing. Working on a TV show has taken a toll on Meyer's fiction writing. He has been struggling to finish his next novel, which is overdue to his publisher. The crazy thing is, now I have to make sure I have time to write novels. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my STC News channel. Goodbye and see you again.